Hey everybody, and welcome back to Elley Knows Rocks. I am here at Lake Pleasant today, and this is a very impromptu trip to go back to the place where I first found thunder eggs here in Arizona. So I am trekking out today. It is very hot. I don't recommend this unless you are used to the heat. Trust me, it's very, very warm today. I think right now it's like 105. So I'm used to the heat. I enjoy being out in the heat. I know how to, conserve energy, drink a lot of water, do all of the things that helps you not die in the desert. I'm not too very far away from my car. I'm just right off the side of the road, and I'm gonna walk up a wash, fingers crossed, and find some thunder eggs. So thank you all so much for joining me on this adventure, and let's go see what we find. We are just walking down the wash, keeping our eyes peeled for any critters. Oh, there's a donkey. This is the material that we're looking at. This is rhyolite right here, and you see different iron oxidations. So actually, geodes in this area end up forming within pockets of the rhyolite, and then they pop out of the rhyolite as it weathers. This is a big volcanic deposit that was laid down a really long time ago. Probably could have been during the Laramide orogeny. It could have been during the ignimbrite flare-up. There's a lot of different ages for what could have happened here. But silica-rich fluid, like everything else, plus opal, would have gotten into this area. And opal is just basically silica-rich fluid that has a lot of dissolved oxygen and water that stayed in the system. That creates what we see inside these awesome thunder eggs that we're gonna find. And here we go, seeing our first bit of material. Got this guy right here. This guy. This could be possible thunder egg. Very promising. This right over here. That's most likely what it looks like inside, almost trying to form a thunder egg. I'm not gonna pick them up, but we are starting to see some of the material. That's awesome. So we're just walking along this dry wash, and we're gonna walk up, but we're gonna try to stay in the shade trees just to give ourselves a little bit of protection. Oh, this is a great sign right here. That's a good sign. This guy. So that's the type of material we're looking for, but solid. Great material to start out with. Look at this, guys. I think we found our first fist-sized one right here. Very, very good prospect right here. Good lines through it. Might be junk, might not. Who knows? Might even be a geode inside. And look at this rock right here in front of us. This big old piece. That was huge at one time. Look at that. That whole area right here. This was a geode. Little points. Little quartz crystal points on it. Kinda, this could be one. Little botryoidal features like the crust of the thunder egg. Little crystals on the inside. I like this one the best. This has the most hope for just shaving this off, and hopefully it just got broken. So we'll take that one home, but that's interesting how they're all just kind of in this little band right here. So the water must have came down pretty heavy and then dropped out the load of sediment it was carrying when it was in a heavy flow zone. Do you guys see it? Can you see it before I do? Look how cute that is. That is a miniature thunder egg, and we're gonna cut it right down the center and see what's inside. I just saw the glimpse of part what looks like a chalcedony rose, and now I've lost it. Okay, check this out. Little tiny piece of botryoidal chalcedony rose, almost in an inappropriate shape. So fun, right? This looks like it could possibly be like a perfect specimen right here. Oh, it's a lot easier to come out than I thought it would be. Look at that. That has perfect etching on the outside. Those features, cutting it, I believe, right down this area would give us the best look. And we're gonna find out. We are gonna cut these open and see what they look like here at the end of the video. But wow, that's cool. That's a perfect, I mean, very tiny one, but this one, that's a perfect thunder egg right here. This is a golden example of what a perfect thunder egg looks like for this area of Arizona. I can't believe I just spotted this little round thing next to the ground. I almost didn't even want to bend down to film it, and I'm so glad I did because it's perfect. It just looked like it was kind of attached to the rock and not really a thunder egg, but you gotta go with your gut sometimes. You really have to just feel it and own it. So cool. I do have to say, there are a lot of just pieces down here. You don't have to look for the absolute perfect ones. I'm looking for very round ones so that I can cut them open, but there's a lot of pieces, and oh, just like this one right here on the ground, that have already been broken open. This one's part of a geode inside. Boy, that rock is boiling hot. And it's got that perfect crust, but there's a lot of just half pieces on the ground. You don't have to find the whole ones. I'm just on a mission, but if you guys come down to the Lake Pleasant area, look up the dry washes, like walk up them, because you never know what you're gonna find. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. Look at that. Look at it. It looks huge. Right there. I'm gonna dig that out. I think I just found the biggest one for today, which is also probably going to be the last thunder egg we find, because we're gonna go to another spot and look for some gas bubble geodes as well. But let's dig this guy out. Shouldn't be too hard to get out. Oops. Oh, and there's like a little one right above it. These rocks, they're like touching lava. Hot, hot. Oh, wow. That's a good one. Wow, that's got a lot going on too. Kind of half like busted on this side, but that should look amazing when we cut it open. Holy crap. Check this out. I haven't dug around it yet. The top of it is huge. Look at this. It was sitting right there. It almost looks like some kind of cow patty. Oh no. What? That's it? It's busted. Oh well. I mean, it looks really cool, but shucks. All right, we're in the second spot, guys. Now I've heard, but I don't know if it's true, if you head out towards the giant oak tree, you will find better stuff. So right now, I'm headed straight towards the only oak tree I can see in the area. And there is the oak tree. Big, bright green one over there. Here is our rock type that we're looking at. And you can see big gas bubbles formed these geodes in them. And these didn't quite pop out. You can see all over this whole rock. They're everywhere. So maybe this is what they meant by the oak tree. That's a little teeny tiny miniature gas bubble geode. But the oak tree is right there behind me. And I don't think I'm supposed to be in the wash. I'm supposed to be up here with the rocks. So I'll look around this, but this is a little gas bubble geode. And you can kind of see there's a bunch of them kind of right here. They're real small. This one, that's one, this little bitty guy. And this is one that's popped out. But all these, you can see how big some of them can get. They just have to pop up out of the rock. This is what we're looking for essentially, but we're looking for ones that size. We'll see if we can find any. Look at this, guys. It is a broken open geode, but I was extracting on it, pulling on it just a little bit, and I'm about to pull it out. I wasn't sure if it was gonna come out in one piece or not. It's still in there quite a ways. There we go. My phone's freaking out because of the heat. Wow, look at that. So this whole thing potentially right here could be cut open and might be an extent of that geode. A huge calcite geode right here. It's half broken open. I can't get it out. I'm just gonna leave it, but you needed to see it because it's so pretty. There are little tiny ones everywhere. Where is it? Like they are just all over the place, and some of them are cracked open. See little crystals inside. So these should look like that, or better or worse, you never know. And they get sizable. I'm standing up from the wash now, just surface collecting in the brown dirt. On this top part of the mesa, we're looking for stuff that's darker. Stuff like this, and you can already see there's something in here. Maybe this is a little bit of a seam. These types of things, if you find one thick enough, it can actually be a geode inside. So hopefully we can find one, cut it open, and reveal some beautifulness inside. This is what it looked like when I saw it on the ground, then I flipped it over, and it is a beautiful broken open geode. So when you're thinking geode, don't always think round. Yes, geodes form in gas bubbles mainly. However, look at this gas bubble, how it formed, how the shapes are. There are some rounded edges, but don't always think round, and this is an awesome example, and I'm just finding that stuff right up here on top of the dirt. We have so many here. Just a handful of these, and then we're going to cut open a handful of the thunder eggs as well and see what we have. We're gonna open this handful on the little ring saw. Beautiful, beautiful geode there. This guy is just pretty much purely solid. Another awesome geode. Look at the lines on that. These agate lines for that geode. That is stunning. That is so pretty. Multiple colored agate lines. A little bit of calcite covering some of those quartz crystals. And then, ooh. Very pretty, just white coloration inside of this guy. All in all, not a terrible little haul. I'm gonna cut open all of these on the big tile saw. There's this big guy. It's got that pretty end on it. Inside there's some little bits of geode, but mainly solid quartz. Nice little botryoidal features in there. This big guy, completely solid, but really pretty features. It's got some awesome structure to it. This guy is pretty cool. A little teeny tiny geode with some agate around it. Great little guy. This one's probably my favorite. Great agate and geode on both sides. This has some nice features. Cute little geode. This is pretty much solid quartz. Little bits of geode features. And then this guy, completely solid. This big guy, interesting geode that needs to be cleaned out, but very cool overall. And then this, look, so this one, this was like this with the opening. And then yeah, on the inside, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Thunder eggs, these are the ones I think are going to be the most promising.
Always be careful operating any type of saw. Be very aware of all pinch points and wear your safety equipment, such as eye protection and ear protection. Let's talk about how a thunder egg is formed. Thunder eggs are primarily round, and they are found in silica-rich volcanic rocks such as rhyolite. Within the rhyolite, silica and feldspar minerals start to crystallize in a round form, creating spherolites. These spherical bodies have radiating structural minerals. Gases that are trapped within the spherical structure start to push the spherulite apart from the center outwards, creating a hollow center. This creates wedge-shaped segments. As it continues to crack and expand, this is what creates that typical star-shaped interior of a thunder egg. Silica-rich fluid then percolates through the pores of the rock and through the cracks. This fluid slowly cools and will shrink and expand. This will produce more of the internal structures that we see. More fluid then comes in and fills in those cracks, creating even more good structure. This may happen several times to fill in the entire void of the thunder egg. Internal bubbles or spheres could be excess gases that are still trapped within the thunder egg. The white parts inside could be common opal, or they could be oxygen that are trapped in the system. The more layers and bands you see, the more fluid events happened. And sometimes you don't see any layers. Sometimes you just have a nasty, pithy material like this stuff, which is still a silica-based mineral, but it has clays in it as well, giving it a very undesirable milky color. Oftentimes, those radiating features can be seen on the outside of a thunder egg like this one. It usually means the inside is going to be quite remarkable. And if you look closely at the edges, you can still see that radiating structure of the original spherulite. And in this one, you can see gas bubbles that have actually expanded to create those botryoidal features inside. And this one has quite a bit of oxygen in the system that got trapped, creating that snowflake type effect.
Absolutely stunning. A lot of these guys, they turned out awesome.
And I'm headed back because I am running out of water. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this adventure. I hope you learned something. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you on the next one.